Welcome back to the Uranium Fever channel. In today's video, we're taking a look at all the changes found on the latest player test server for Fallout 76. With some pretty significant adjustments to the beginning of the game, lots of new locations, a new menu cinematic, and some more in-game teasers about Atlantic City, there's a fair bit to go through, but we're kicking things off in Vault 76 right at the beginning. This PTS build isn't the final one we'll be getting, as it will be updated on October 3rd to allow players to actually travel to Atlantic City itself, but that doesn't mean that there isn't a lot to talk about. So, waking up in the vault yet again, with my latest new character ready to brave Appalachia, it was time to head out, but on the way I wanted to check if those mysterious memory loungers were still behind this door in 76, and it seems that they've been moved. But the Perk loadouts, they're actually back in this build after some adjustments, so here's how these are currently looking. Instead of just leaving the vault, you now need to choose a special loadout, and this is either a pre-made battle-ready dweller loadout, or the traditional fresh dweller at level 1. Taking a look at the former, and you've got lots to pick from. Each of these is tailor-made for a playstyle, and comes with pre-selected weapons, armor, and perk cards. Your choices are Commando, Slugger, Gunslinger, Shotgunner, and Specialist. Here's a more detailed look at the current preset perk cards for each loadout. I haven't done any thorough testing with these updated loadouts just yet, so picking Specialist and diving in, it was time to have a look at the changes on the map. Testing this on my custom world with all locations unlocked reveals that around Vault 76 a lot of new things have been added. So let's run through these next. Again, with the new player experience in mind, it would seem, introductions to each faction in Appalachia is made a whole lot easier with a series of faction related locations dotted around the vault. Starting at the mysterious renovations at the Gilman Lumber Mill reveals that the faction which was moving in is actually the Responders. Adding a new named character you can speak to, you can pick up an easy to complete miscellaneous daily mission from him, as well as learn a bit more about the Responders faction as a whole. The same can be said for most of the others. Representatives of the Diehards Raider gang are located here at the Coop, and in true 76 Raider fashion, they're led by a snivelling coward called Dicer, who will actually say the line, "Do we actually still do raiding?" while he is reminiscing about his former boss Keith.
A tragedy. We used to have Keith to lead us. He was a smart man. He always told me what to do.
Similar story to the Responders, giving you a lowdown on Raider politics, and also doubling down on the Blood Eagles of the bad Raiders angle, and providing some early game info about Meg and her gang. Up next we have the Brotherhood, who have an outpost called Forward Station Tango, another named character offering backstory with the location looking similar to other checkpoints, with a crash vertibird also located here. The Blue Ridge Caravan are a fully fledged 76 faction now, and they too get the treatment. To find them, head over here to the Blue Ridge Bunkhouse. There's also a settler outpost as well if you wanted to check them out. And last but not least, the Cult of the Mothman have another huge cave system to inhabit. Hostile on sight like normal, it's a pretty visceral expanse, filled with rivers of blood, sacrificial sites, and other gore. Unsurprising considering the name Organ Cave, it comes with a couple of different entrances dotted around, similar to the Deep Cave system. Overall, I do like these additions. It's a nice bit of extra world building and a flavour for those who are just starting out, while making the region feel more lived in. But this next thing I think is far more interesting. And this isn't fully set up yet, but Ingram Mansion, which was once home to an outpost of cultists, is undergoing some significant changes. It's now going to be a nightclub, Appalachia's first in fact. To trigger this mission, it seems that interacting with this poster will start it automatically, and you'll be directed to attend the opening. Doing so in this build in the PTS offers no function, but definitely look out for some future videos once it's all been set up. Something else you might notice is there's some more user interface changes around receiving and tracking quests. Again, I'm a fan of these changes, and the addition of a nightclub in the region has definitely piqued my interest. But of course the big update this year is Atlantic City, and although the next PTS build will reveal all, this one does actually add a new section of the White Spring Refuge where we can actually learn a lot more about what to expect. So let's head over there and have a chat with a new character, Jeremiah Hopkins. He's the Skippy Rorich for Atlantic City, a resident of the expedition location based out of the refuge, who we speak to learn more about the location, politics, and if you can pass some speech checks, presumably what we should actually expect. And here's how my chat with him went and what I learnt.
First off, you can take a relaxing stroll along the boardwalk, enjoy the street vendors and a delightful sea breeze. Larger attractions take place at Showman's Pier on the far end of the boardwalk. Underneath the pier, you can lose yourself in the architectural wonder of an aquarium built beneath the sea. When night falls, Casino Quarter has everything you need to make it an evening to remember. Nightclubs and casinos galore. Further inward, all the magic you don't see happens at the city center. That's where the mayor's always keep the city running.
You're always in my thoughts.
Well, our city is run by the tough and virtuous Mayor Tim. Once a humble farmer, now a city leader. Around Casino Quarter, you hear the name Quintino Lombardi. He's known to be a bit hot-headed. He's been the head of the family for a long time. And finally, there's Mother Charlotte, the creative and daring founder of the Showman. These three work together to provide the city with everything it needs to thrive. Lights, entertainment, and a functioning economy. Outside of civilians and visitors, such as yourself, there are three groups that keep on the lights and life of Atlantic City. The Showmen are entertainers, hosting performances and games of all kinds, primarily from the boardwalk and pier. The Lombardi family, they manage the nightlife in the Casino Quarter. They're an intimate bunch, but don't be intimidated. They're as much a part of Atlantic City's charm as anyone else. And last, but definitely not least, our city government workers manage the day-to-day operations that make life easy for the rest of us.
So in summary, Atlantic City is split into different locales with a trio of city leaders with their own respective factions working together to keep things moving. Mayor Tim is at the city centre, Quintino Lombardi in the Casino Quarter, and Mother Charlotte, leader of the Showmen. Not long now until we learn more about them, but now let's take a look at some Atlantic City datamines. And there's obvious spoilers ahead, although we really don't have long to wait until Bethesda reveals all themselves with some deep dives scheduled for October 2nd. Taking a look at these datamines now, and we have confirmation on what the Jersey Devil will actually look like. The newest cryptid coming to Fallout 76, there are currently two variants which have models with a standard and lesser devil, and these aren't the only creatures we have visuals of though. Meet the Overgrown, creatures first seen in the Atlantic City teaser, and there's also confirmation here that this plushie is actually depicting these creatures. There's some new power armor coming with Atlantic City, the Civic Duty skin, which is looking like it might appear in a paid bundle similar to other launch bundles with previous updates. The Mirelurk Cooker from Far Harbor is slated to be an Atomic Shop release. It's a pretty cool asset, so it's nice to see it appear in 76 too. But that barely scratches the surface, with Giuseppe's Curios already showing a huge list of plans for what are on the way. I'm scrolling through them now for you to have a quick look at, but look out for some videos next week where I'll be going through all the Atlantic City rewards in more detail once that PTS has gone live. It's too early to call anything yet with the update not even going live yet, but the early signs are this update will have main missions, side missions, as well as distinct sections of the city to visit, bringing new characters, new enemies, new factions, rewards, and a whole lot more I think, which is actually making me pretty excited. Nothing final yet, but promising signs, but this won't be a carbon copy format of the pit, and there'll actually be a lot more to do this time around. How do you feel about the new changes though? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If you enjoyed this particular video, please consider subscribing to help the channel grow. We post a variety of Fallout 76 content, so turning on the bell icon is definitely the best way to stay up to date. With that said, bye, I'm off. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.